So I may welcome you for the next session here. We were talking about airlines, fares, future, and now we're going to talk about social changes as well. And I want your answers for this using the TED system, please. So please take your little pad in your hand and be aware of the questions, because the next session will give you some input about what the future of travel really might be. We will have people here that have been traveling 50 countries. They are going to the Seidenstraße, Silk Road in the coming period, and they have a new solution for problems we face, especially in Germany. We have a big number of people who go into the burnout process. So psychologically means that there's a big burden on their shoulders and they cannot adapt or don't want to adapt anymore. And companies send them to sabbaticals. They just go away for a month, for a half year, or for a whole year, and come back inspired. And they made this a system, and that's the answer for this. They said, we offer you a nomadical, so you travel around the world, get new impacts. And this is one aspect of society changes. You can read them there. What do you think? Social, cultural change. Does it really have an impact? Future? If we have this change, or is it just by the way? So please make your choice. Will it have a considerable impact on travel needs and demand in the overall market, considerable on travel needs in the market segments, or will the important travel fields remain the same? 3 options. Please make up your mind. You can only have one choice. That's the pity. So please go ahead, make your choice now. So coming with the winner is answer 2. 50 or over the half said yes, it will have a considerable impact on market segments. Thank you for this. 70% said yes, it will more or less remain the same. We will see. If you will welcome now 2 people who have been traveling around the world. They were learning just to milk a cow, to be adapted to Mongolian typical behaviors over the day. And they spend a lot of time at the moment in an alpine hut just to get adapted to their travel needs. And I love to pronounce the names. It's Christine Papadopoulos, sounds very Greek on the stage, and Christoph Santner is coming there as well. They appear here as a couple. They are futurists for all what we can see. Please give them a hand. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ups, zurück.
Are you ready to go on a journey? Are you ready to go on a nomadical? Sorry, is there anyone out there? Hello? Good, there's some life. Fantastic. We have taken a break on our nomadic travels to come here today and share some of our knowledge, our findings, and also give you some hints on the potentials available to the travel industry. Is the presentation on? Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, good. What I wanted to know is, do you identify yourself as a migrant or someone who's sedentary? Think about it for a second. Are you more like a wild goose? Or would you say you are more like a little house sparrow? Or are you more like this blue whale that travels 14,000 kilometers in a season? But I think some of you on this side, because you're not reacting, are more like the couch potato orangutan, yeah? Okay.
So we heard a little bit that Christine is from South Africa, so she's familiar with all these wonderful wandering herds there. And from Greek ancestry, and her family traveled since centuries all over the place, from Egypt to Smyrna, today Turkey, to Egypt, to South Africa now, and she's living in Germany and Austria. And we are digital nomads since decades. We have lived and worked in more than 50 countries. And what is right, we are in the moment in the Austrian mountains, living with the farmers, learning to milk the cows. It is great to be a farmer. You know where you belong to. You have your cattle, everything you need, but it's also great, and we just visited them in Mongolia, to be a nomad. You move around, things are changing, you follow the rhythms, the waters, and more people today decide, why shouldn't I go on a nomadic? Why shouldn't I travel around the world? Many of our friends, they tell us, I'm like in a cage, I can't move, I'm stuck in my workplace, etc. And we say, you can fly, turn around, there are lots of possibilities. And why is that today? We have a tremendous change in the behavior of people who combine travel and work. So the so-called digital nomads, global nomads. Why is that? Travel is coming so cheap, that's one thing. The other one is the digital nomads basically rely on perfect Wi-Fi internet connection. That's more or less everywhere available now. Then there's a strong, growing freelance culture. Every fifth person in the workforce of the US is a freelance person now, growing dramatically. That means you have the freedom to work from wherever you want, basically. Then we have this great sharing economy where people support each other. We talk about it when it comes to co-working spaces, co-living spaces. Then, especially in the segment of the millennials, it's not important to own a car. It's really a burden. You have to do all the service and insurance stuff. So you better go for car sharing. Most of them say, I don't want to own a house. You can share. I don't know if I will live here for the next 10 years. And another perspective is, or reality is, that more and more mixed couples get kind of mixed children, and then they are not really nailed down to one specific place, but they want to see, okay, where's my father from, my mother from, etc. And we have a great change in the value set of the people. We'll talk about it later. So the traditional values really disappear very quickly, and new paradigms, new values are appearing. Oops. Went too much?
So the age of the digital nomads has arrived. I would say they are also global nomads.
Because many people traditionally are like nomads. Let's say musicians, they are on tour, or actors on different stages. We have architects, designers, we have the scientific world. So there is much more than just the digital world moving around, but more and more a bigger part of our society are really on the move. And so we come into an era where we see a new travel style, because people don't consider themselves to be tourists. They see themselves as travelers. They want to make experience. They have a new set of work styles that they apply. It's not this divided thing anymore. It's one big thing, one big life, so it's a new lifestyle.
And it is actually a workation. Work plus vacation. They combine the best of both parts in one lifestyle. But not everyone sits in a hammock. Some of them really work hard.
So we come along with this expression of the nomadic. Usually, I'm sure that you know people, when they get in their 40s, when they have their career, then they ask themselves, am I really going on for the next 10, 20 years like that? And there is this kind of midlife theme. And many of them then say, okay, please, my employer, give me like a half a year. And very often it happens that when the people return after having a wonderful half year, they're not going back into this rat race. And we consult and work with people who say, okay, it's not a good idea to let them completely go. find an agreement, work like half-time, 25%, you must achieve specific goals, but then you can move around and develop a route together. The first year maybe in the Austrian mountains to recover, the second, not year, the first month, and the second month in the Silicon Valley, etc.
With us milking cows, you mean?
For example.
Well, they have to be friendly.
So the project is really to develop a plan together. When you return, you are fully inspired, full of new contacts, and are really completely enthusiastic to bring your ideas into the company.
We categorize global nomads, digital nomads, into 3 groups.
Because it's not just a thing of the young people, of the millennials. Oops, too far. We have to decide who is
we
going
fight about these little things. He must just know I'm the boss, and things work out perfectly.
So the millennials, that's the group from 1980 to the change of the millennium. They spend a lot of money, much more than the other groups in terms of the percentage what they are spending. And they are the young professionals. They know that they have to build up an international career, so they are absolutely the top traveling group that we have.
And I'm part of this group, unfortunately. Having had a career, having had a couple of careers, and finally deciding in my mid-40s, what is the meaning of it all? Where am I going to? What's going to happen with my life? And this is where I decide, oh my goodness, I need a change. I need some inspiration. And normally, I would take a sabbatical.
And the next step is, it's my generation now, we must decide. When you're ready, you push the button.
You just wanted to tell people you were younger. I mean,
And we need to speed on a bit.
We need to speed up as well.
So my generation is the baby boomers, the 50+, and there are 2 groups. Many of them who do not come back after sabbatical. They are called the 50preneurs. They want to start something, an internet shop, whatever, or sooner or later post-career. And when you're retired, like 60, 65, 70, you're full of ideas, and you consult maybe things, you do a foundation, whatever. So people are still very active in this age group.
And our research we've done, there is very little research, I must say, really predicting the future on this and actually saying what kind of trends are coming up. But we have managed to discover a little bit of interesting information for you.
One of the leading trend researchers for the travel industry is Skift, and they did a wide research with focus groups, and they come up with the expression of the super traveler. And you see a little bit the photo. The super traveler are super creative, they're super successful, they super handle everything.
I think they're mostly women. And they can multitask.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
You see it, it's a lady, I think. And they know exactly what they want. They know exactly which brands are really valuable for them. So read this manifesto. We don't have the time now, but read this manifesto and we'll learn what it's all about. And the center of this manifesto is all the experiences these super travelers are looking for must to be human and authentic. They don't want this kind of marketing bullshit. They just want people looking in their eyes and helping them in realizing their ideas and dreams. Then there's another one. The Global Trends Report of Euromonitor claims every year 1 major trend per continent. And the last trend for the Americas was the Romies co-living nomads. That is the actual top trend in the US. What does it mean? It is a wide range of new services appearing on the horizon or in the midst of our society, in the internet, and people in all age groups, also the baby boomers, also people with kids that want to live together with other people in co-living spaces, co-working spaces, and create and pursue their own happiness and ideas. So one research is done by Harvard University by Dr. Beth Altringer. She lived a certain time as a digital nomad in Thailand and Bali and other countries, really researched the people under many aspects. How long are they going? What are they doing? How are they spending? And how are they earning their income? the interesting thing is there is not everything is gold with these digital nomads, because after a while you're maybe a bit bored or homesick or whatever. But nobody who did it, more or less nobody, would say it was a mistake to do it. So people would repeat it. It does not mean that you have to sell your apartment and everything and be a nomad forever. Just do it for a certain time, see how it works for you, and we give you quite some inspirations how it's done practically.
Good, it's my turn again. Products and services. Currently, there's a lot happening in the industry with relation to this. Everything that we're going to mention here has to do with traveling, really. But we've just categorized it a little bit so that you can understand how it fits into hospitality and working life and a lifestyle. So that's why it's categorized the way it is.
So let's start with one offer that's really amazing. It's called the remote year, and you have to apply. You cannot just book it. And then you are in a group of 30 people, and they travel the world together and stay for 1 month in one city. So you build a perfect team along this year. And not only that you share together, link with the locals, but you have to earn somehow the money during this time. The entry fee is $5,000, then every additional month $2,000. That's a bit of money. So they ask enterprises, companies in these cities, do you need a part of this group or the entire group as consultants, as web designers, coders, whatever. So they really link with local companies and make a living and
So you get like 30 for the price of one?
For example.
Yeah, cool deal.
Right. So next one.
And yeah, it's actually not about the journey, it's actually the destination. And a lot of organizations are putting together packages like cruises in the various islands, in the various oceans, going through for 15 days together with a group of people. You do workshops together. You also have time to work on your own projects. If you need some assistance, you can call on your fellow travelers in case they can help you with some online stuff or coding or whatever it is. So it really is a very nice family that forms there.
The next thing is also traditional brands are going into this field. This is Marriott Hotel, just started Moxie, and you see it looks a bit like a co-working space. Yeah? They have these open spaces inviting the people, don't just take the breakfast here, you can work here, and everybody joining this or booking this hotel is more or less open to connect with other people, what usually does not happen. The same is with Truba Hilton. You see, you have hammocks, you have this kind of co-working spaces, how you all know it, I think. So big major player enter this field with new brands, new offers. Another thing, I continue?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
You're on a roll.
You would think that hostels is just something for young people, but it's not true. More and more people, also in my age, I did it sometimes, also with my kids, you can also book an apartment, a good apartment within the hostel, but you have this creative, vibrant, young crowd. Plus, more and more hostels also now offer, you read it in German here, co-working spaces in hostels and in hotels, just to attract the people and not to force them to leave the house if they want to do anything else.
And this is called a super Buddha.
Super Buddha in Hamburg. Super Buddha in Hamburg.
Like the super word is really super great nowadays.
For the super travelers.
Yeah.
And also want to look, it's not just this kind of young people with limited budget. You find it everywhere. One of the boom industries, and we also say it is for digital nomads in the top class. Traditionally, the super rich were traveling a lot, more than everybody else in their private jets or whatever, and you have a 20% yearly increase now in serviced apartments. This is a brand from Singapore, and the funny thing is they really think out of the box. They link with the interior designers of Mercedes-Benz and create together a very unique, very posh, you can say.
Yeah, why not?
furniture and environment. We have 5
We
minutes
have,
left.
no, yeah, well, the way it's going, you have 5 minutes left because you're not letting me say anything.
The same is also if you look into the chat business, the sharing things also happen there. Yeah? You can look, is there a chat flying empty? Then you can, a lot of things also in this luxury segment goes into sharing economy. And if you have problems with your flights back, some might have it. LunaChat offers it from today. We organize you last minute to fly you out wherever you are.
Yeah, especially with what Lufthansa is doing at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, great. And for working. A lot of co-working spaces are coming around and opening up where people get together and actually share offices. This is a very good example. I'm sure you're aware of Regis, the brand, and they have some fantastic locations in their portfolio. Look at this. And that's not all, folks. Look at the price. Now, this is value for money. You can book a room at the Vienna Stock Exchange, at the Opera House, and at a Le Palais, at a rate of an average of around 9-10 euros
per day. And then you find the baby boomers there, and not just the 20-year-old people.
Not just your generation.
Right. There, you have to make an earning while traveling. So there are lots of sites like this out, remote jobs, where you can book not only as a coder, but whatever, as a writer, journalist. You can find jobs. And more companies also invite you for a specific project for a specific time, for like 2 weeks to
Bali or
something. Yes.
Example.
Living very quickly.
Oops, I'm sorry, that was me.
Very quickly, you have brands like Rome, where you just pay $1,800, and then you can use all their co-working spaces, co-living spaces around the globe and find like-minded people there. Or also, Purehouse is a similar thing, but they also have Purehouse Labs. So it's a kind of lab where people check out how can we live together in future.
So it's like a Big Brother house, so guinea pigs.
No.
Huh?
Big sister.
Yeah.
Okay, you continue.
May I? Thank you. What do we have there? Oh, this is very nice. This is a local. This is called
Michelberger in Berlin. Check it out.
In Berlin. This is great. They've actually customized a room, and you can book this for a band. So any of you musicians out there, this is where to go. You put your band in one hotel room. They don't want them sitting in different rooms and drinking alone, so they put them together.
Check the time.
Oh, the time is now 3 minutes 20.
Some more. Of course, you want, if you travel as a digital nomad, you want to travel in style. There's a brand called Nomads, just travel, giving all the gadgets that you travel in style. There is like World Nomads Insurance. They just put in 1 week Bali, 1 month, whatever, Mongolia, and so on. So lots of, and all of them have in their brand name the word nomad. The other thing is just apartment sharing, right? There are a couple of
platforms
out there. You see it here with 65,000 homes. That you can, when you're not in your home, you just share it with the other person. And when you don't have an own apartment, go as a doggy sitter or gardener. So platform in any kind if you have a limited budget. Or what also drives the whole thing is all the dating sites. So of the super travelers, 60% have dating sites on. They committed that they have it, and
but we don't need it anymore.
We don't need it.
We don't need it anymore.
The third that don't have it, and they use it, of course, more when they are on the go. One other thing.
Oh, this is good. This is from South Africa.
More and more travel operators start. Okay, this is a lady, and with a nice nomadness travel tribe. She started inviting some friends, come along with me. Now it's a young travel operator, and they act as a tribe. You can imagine what.
We got more time. Did you see that? We got a gift.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Gift.
Oh, thank you.
So also in our case, because we are really enthusiastic about future innovation trends, and we organized things like, there's one great future festival, the biggest in the world, actually, Ars Electronica in Linz, and then we just organize a kind of tribe group and lead it as a trend journey. To Linz.
Well, there's a need for people to share their ideas with like-minded people. It's not easy to find that just on the social channels. People are moving off online onto real life. That's a big trend.
So if you want to go deeper into that, there are some leading pages offering workshops, offering this one, offering a digital nomad congress every year on specific locations where you learn everything what you need to learn, how to set up your website. We should maybe attend it to improve our things, or how to just learn everything about locations and places that are interesting for you.
Oh, and this is good. This is a Nomad list. The Nomad list has a platform where you can actually look at the kind of destination that you want, and you can say, okay, well, next trip I want some nature, I want to be near the sea, and I don't want it to be expensive with some hot guys on the beach. So you type all of that in, and it spits out Bali, Mexico, and South Africa for you. And you decide specific places, regular hotspots that have been rated by the people. And based on the nomadic list in the DNX conference.
Yeah, also together with the Harvard lecturer, they really thought about how many people are there out there living this kind of life, and how many are will there be like in the next 10 and 20 years. And they really did some good research and calculation, and they come up with a very amazing number. They say in like 20 years, when the millennials really are in their mid-career, and in the next generation Z that started from the millennium, then like in 20 years we will have around 1 billion nomads worldwide.
Can you imagine the impact on your business, the potential that opens up everywhere?
And we will have a population of 9 billion, so more than 10% should be living a kind of lifestyle like this. So what does it mean? And why is that so? This is a very interesting, Christine, you have to explain it.
Yes, I have to explain this. Well, you know, we always believe that it's the West traveling to the East in this global trend of nomadicism. But it's actually where we discovered a bunch of Mongolian businesswomen in Frankfurt that actually live this nomadic lifestyle. They looked at us and they say, we've always been nomad. It is not a problem. We can have a contract in Los Angeles, and then the next one will be in Frankfurt. It's absolutely no problem. In fact, it's good for us to live a nomadic life. So this has been going on for some time.
So that's their mentality since Genghis Khan, when we had the biggest empire of the world that we ever had 1,000 years ago. And they said, we are still nomads. The European businesswomen of Mongolia, this group. And inspired by that, we have been in Ulaanbaatar and checked it out. I've been with the Nomads, and we decided really to go on a nomadical, for quite, it takes that much time as it takes for us, and travel this ancient and new Silk Road. You know, maybe that China is investing $100 billion to build up infrastructure, the highways, the railways, and we want to see this, the old part and the new part, and as other countries are closing down, we want to see new parts of the world. So, we really want to shout out.
We're back to the birds.
We come to the birds.
Birds again.
To the migrating birds. So, these of you who think, maybe it's a bit confusing because it's just emerging everything, but if you hear this calling, it might be interesting for me, my destination, my brand. We want really to shout out a call for action. One is...
Oh, it's me, sorry. Yeah. I was enjoying the positive reflection from the audience. Call to our destinations. Let's create a 360-degree environment to attract these people. Let's create these co-living, co-working spaces where they can come, mix with the locals, interact. The impact on the industry, on the destination is incredible. They bring in new money, they bring in ideas, they bring in inspiration, and they become your ambassadors.
The next thing is a call to all the touristic brands. Really talk to these people. There are so many around. They're organized, or talk to us or whatever, and really co-create. Don't just provide anything. Co-create new products. And we are sure that you will be very successful. Now the music is starting.
Now we have to stop.
A call to the companies concerning developing nomadicals. It really saves you a lot of money if you try things like that, and there are already some interesting success stories.
Yeah. Good.
Very quickly.
Oh, this is a lovely lady. Her name is Maria.
She's 21 years old, and she has been already in 27 countries. She traveled alone through 7 South American countries, right? Always with this kind of tribe that she met on the way. Then she went to Israel. In Israel, she was invited to Pakistan. And in Pakistan, she was with her boyfriend. He's a forest engineer, because the two of them, they want to work in a country like Pakistan or Kyrgyzstan.
Now. So we want to know, will Maria buy your product in 10 years' time? She'll have a job, she'll have earned some money, she'll have some experience. Will she?
So life is really an exciting journey. And nomadicals are a perfect way of traveling and experiencing the world. I hope that we inspired you a bit and that you come along on this caravan of the digital nomads. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.